This Wednesday I went to a local league challenge and came in second overall out of about 15 players, and I'd like to share my second place deck list with you guys. There's the awesome card I got for coming in second place. As you can see, second place right there, and this will for sure go into a deck somewhere. Anyway, now to get on with the deck, I come in second with a Ho-Oh Reshiram list that I have, and I'm going to be showing off the deck list today. Start out with three Ho-Oh, obviously for that Phoenix Burn attack. Right there, doing 180. Sacred Fire comes in handy also if you're going up against that annoying Gibble Guard Chomp deck list, as Gibbles only have 50 HP, and that's what it, if I can get it to focus, sorry for that. Anyway, main attack is Phoenix Burn for 180, and Challange straight onto that is definitely a good way to go. I run 3 of those, and then next is my preferred attacker, or turn 1 attacker, is Reshiram GX, and I run 2 of these. And you mainly run it for that Vermilion GX. You may attach up to 5 fire energies from your hand to your Pokemon in any way you like. If you can get that, get Reshiram, Challange straight onto Reshiram, attach Choice Band, you're hitting for 210, and then Fiery Flint, which is a card I'll show off later. You can attach Fiery Flint, allows you to search up to 4 fire energies, and you can attach them straight onto your Ho-Oh on the bench. This is the best way to go, and I've learned that it's even better as a turn 1 attacker than Ho-Oh, because you have this Scorching Column. It means you can do 110 plus burn, so you're actually hitting 130, which takes down your big Buzzwole and all those other little annoying cards like that without having to burn your big Vermilion GX or your Sacred Fire, or your 180. It's not Sacred Fire, it's a Phoenix Burn. Anyway, I have learned this is actually the better starter out of the 2, but Ho-Oh is definitely a great way to go. And then next, I have 3 Tapu Lele. We all know what they're for. That is for that Wonder Tag ability. But I will tell you this, going up against Rayquaza deck, which I went up against 2 of those in the league challenge, and won against both of them. The deck I lost against was a Necrozma Malamar variant with that fighting Marshadow GX. Anyway, mainly use it for Wonder Tags so that we can search out our turn 1 Challange, or in some instances, you know, a Lily or a Cynthia. Cynthia, I don't run Lily in this deck, but that is what that is used for, that Wonder Tag. And 3 of those just for consistency, because that turn 1 Challange is very important. Next up, I have Victini Prism Star. Infinity, 2 fire energies, does 20 damage for each fire energy in your discard pile, and then shuffle all those back into your deck. After you've had a Ho-Oh GX and a Reshiram GX knocked out, that's 8 energies, so you're already hitting for 160 damage, and then slap a Choice Band on, and you're ready to go. After that, if it'll focus, there it is. Oranguru with Instruct, just so you can play those cards back up, build those cards back up in your hand, get 3 more cards, or 2 or 1, it doesn't, just whatever's more cards. I've learned that when you're going up against Rayquaza and a bunch of them other speedier decks, that you can burn as much as you want out of your hand, throw away supporters and everything, as long as you have Oranguru on the bench, and you'll never be behind in the prize or in the deck count. You'll always have more cards in the deck than they do. And then next we have Marshadow, and this is the one with the Let Loose ability that shuffles. It's basically a judge. Each player shuffles their hand into their deck and draws out 4 cards. And it's great for a turn 1 where you do not get the Challange. So you lay down your Ho-Oh or your Reshiram, and you just do not get an Ultra Ball for the Tapu Lele, or you just don't have a Tapu Lele, but you have this Marshadow. This Marshadow is great because it drops your opponent down to 4 cards, and you're not really worried about it at that point. There's just a little bit of disruption. And if you're going up against Rayquaza, it's great against when they Tempest GX and pull those 10 cards into their hand. And next we have our supporter line, and I am running a 4-4 line, or a 4-4 line of Cynthia for those supporters. You just need that draw power. I'm running a 3 line of Tate and Liza. I started to run Lily, and I've seen other players that are running Lily, but I mainly use it. Lily lots of times winds up being the same as a Howl for me, and I only get 2 to 3 cards. And this way, they also work as switches. And over Wednesday night, whenever I was playing at that league challenge, I definitely did use these as switches, and it made it so much easier than trying to have to search for a Guzma or search for a switch. And sometimes you don't want a Guzma, sometimes you want to switch, and so you can also Tapu Lele for that. Next up is Kiawe, and I run 3 of these, and this is search your deck of 4 energy cards, 4 fire energy, attach them to one of your Pokemon, and then shuffle your deck. Your turn ends. This is the best way to get Ho-Oh and Reshiram going. Even in the middle of the game, I found that if you do it at the right time, it's not that bad of a deal. Sometimes they punish you, but if you do it right, if you get the opening, take it, because you're not going to get another one. And then I run a 3-line of Guzma. I've actually thought about increasing this to 4, but 3 seems to work well, so we'll see on that. And that's just for switching and dragging another Pokemon up. And then I play a 2-line of Kukui. And this is mainly for the extra 20 damage. That way, if you don't have a choice band, you're hitting for that 200 damage mark anyway. And then if you run up against something bigger, you've got choice band and Kukui. And then next up is my item count. And I run a 4-line of Ultra Ball. Ultra Ball right there. And that's just for searching out everything. I mean, whatever you want. Throwing energies in the discard for that Victini Prism Star. And I run a 3-line of Acrobike. That's for just speed. If you can top deck Acrobikes and then fire energies off your Acrobikes, chunk them fire energies for your Victini. You don't want to chunk too many with this deck list, because I'm not playing my previous Ho-Oh lists. I played with Salazzle, and I ran 15 energies, and this one I'm only running 12, so it's a little harder to chunk those without being prepared. Next is this Fiery Flint, and I run 3 of these, and I don't think I got to use this at all as far as how it's meant to be used in the tournament. It's search your deck. You may just you can play this card only if you discard 2 other cards from your hand. So it's basically an Ultra Ball for fire energies. Search your deck for up to 4 fire energies, reveal them and put them into your hand, then shuffle your deck. You want to pair this with Reshiram GX. You want a Kiawe onto Reshiram, and then you want to pull a Fiery Flint, get 4 energies in your hand, 5 is even better, and then use Vermilion GX to put all 4 of those energies, or 5 of those energies, onto a Ho-Oh. Next I have up 3 Choice Band, just for the extra 30 damage against GXs and EXs. I actually found over the weekend that I didn't really need them that much, because I also run Professor Kukui, but I ran mainly against a Rayquaza deck and that Lucario Garchomp deck, and Rayquaza has 180 HP, which is what my main attacks do, and Garchomp is not a GX, so it doesn't help. But I run 2 Wishful Batons. That way, if you do get knocked out, you can still save some of that energy. That's a hit and miss. I mean, it's all dependent on whether or not they have Fill Blowers, and which I run 2 of. Always run 2 Fill Blowers, because 1 is never enough. You have to have them to get rid of stadiums, to get rid of choice bands and wish batons and whatever else you run up against. I've found if you don't run any of these, or if you only run 1, it's never enough. And you always run into a situation where if I had a Fill Blower, I would be fine, but I don't. And so after Garbotoxin rotated out, a lot of people quit running Fill Blower, and I never have, and I will always run Fill Blower. Next I have 2 switches, bringing my switch total up to 8 switches, counting the Guzmas and the Tate and Lizas. These are very handy. You just draw into them. There's nothing special about them. They're just very handy. Next I have 1 Nest Ball, and I'm not really sure about keeping this. It can go, it can stay. I used it. It gets out my Oranguru, my Victini, and a Reshiram or a Ho-Oh, but on the Mars Shadow and the Tapu Leles, it's not really that good. But there it is, and I did use it, and I did play it, and it helped out on one instance, I remember I was able to get my Orin Guru, I was able to draw more cards, and I top decked a Marshadow off that Orin Guru draw. So it did help. I play one Friend Ball, and this is for pretty much every deck. I mean, I use it mainly for the Psychic. So I'm sitting there, they've got Psychic, Malamar's running around everywhere, everybody plays Tapu Lele. With this Friend Ball, I can get out a Marshadow or I can get out a Tapu Lele without having to discard and without it going straight onto my bench. And then my last item is a Mysterious Treasure, and that's for getting out either Marshadow or Tapu Lele, usually Tapu Lele. But I play one of those. I'm actually thinking about putting taking the Nest Ball out and putting in 2 Mysterious Treasures, but we'll see. Sorry about that glare, guys. A little bit of a glare there. And then next, I run... Let's kind of scoot these over just a little bit. I run 3, 6, 9, and 12 Fire Energies. Those do... I'm actually thinking about upping my Fire Energy count. I did run into a situation where at the very end, I was playing the last game against Malamar, and I ran upon a situation where I actually ran out of Fire Energies, and I was able to get them onto my Victini Prism Star and then shuffle them all back in my deck, but I was just a turn too late, or 2 turns too late, to being able to take the knockout on his Malamar, which would have won me the game. But it is what it is, so I don't know if I'm going to increase that or if I'm going to leave them like it is. I don't really know. I have to do some more playing with this and testing with it. But anyway, guys, there's my deck list. Hope you guys enjoyed it.